Hello and welcome to another Spectrum Geeks video. My name is Dale, and in today's video it's about what's behind this hangar door. I've bought myself a plane. Okay, so probably a little bit clickbaity. I didn't buy a whole plane, I have bought a share in this beautiful Cessna 172 Golf Bravo Sierra Oscar Golf. We're here in the hangar where it's stored in Gloucester. Pop you inside, have a little chat about it. No flight today because it is absolutely lashing it down. So I thought what I'd do is just come down, check a few things out and record this video. And I thought it would be helpful because if, like me, someone who's only been flying a couple of years and you're looking to transition from renting to owning or owning a share, this video might be of help. So let's pop inside and I'm going to take you through a few of the things. Okay, so hopefully you can see and hear me okay. Absolutely lashing it down. Obviously in the metal hanger it makes a bit of noise, but yeah, here I am inside Golf Bravo Sierra Oscar Golf. So I bought a share in this plane a few months ago now, a 14th. So this is based here at Gloucester Airport, kept inside, and as you probably saw from the opening montage, it is in absolutely fantastic condition. So let me talk to you a little bit about the aircraft, what I was considering and why I went this route. So this plane was built quite a while ago, back in 1974. It was originally registered and used in the United States before it came over here to the UK. So there are a few kind of unique things for me in terms of the speedo is not in knots, it's in miles per hour. So a few things you have to adjust to when you're flying it. But it's in fantastic condition. Obviously, had a new spray job at some point, which is why the spray, the spray at the outside is fantastic. And not personally my favourite colours in terms of the orange and white, but it looks good and obviously very visible from the skies. And as you can see here in the interior, also really nice and clean because it was somewhat recently refurbished. So I'm looking down at my phone to make sure I've got some of the information. So even though it's from the kind of mid 70s, the airframe itself only has 2,500 odd hours of usage, so it's still really kind of new, I would say. In terms of engine hours, 715 hours on the engine, and the prop has 395 hours on it. So in terms of how much did the share cost, at the time I bought it in late 2023, looking at around £7,500 ish for a share in an aircraft like this, again a 14th. So I can explain a little bit about the process. So the reason I found out about this share is a friend of mine also already had a share in this aircraft, so I knew that the aircraft was a good one because he wouldn't be flying a rotter, and obviously the group must be reasonable because he's not going to want to be in a group that isn't good. So in terms of the process, you apply to buy a share from the current owner that's selling their share. Obviously it's up to them how much they sell that share for, so you can try and negotiate some of that, but there are some fixed costs in terms of monthly fees and then the wet rate, so the hourly rate that you pay. So for this particular aircraft, what my current situation is, I think it's around £85 a month, which is a fixed cost, and then around £120 an hour, something like that. So in terms of you know, the cost of the share aside, because hopefully in the future, if you ever do decide to sell your share, you should get some or a good majority of that back, assuming the aircraft's all good. The £85 a month is obviously paying for hangarage, maintenance, insurance, that kind of thing. And then the wet rate is almost half what I was paying to rent. So again, once you get going, and the more hours you can fly, the cheaper it should become. And the main reason for me looking to buy a share as opposed to continue renting was just about availability. I have more availabilities on Mondays and Sundays. The school that I fly from is closed Mondays and Sundays, so it's sometimes a bit difficult to try and get time. And even though there's 14 people in the group, there are some strict rules about how much time you can book. So you can book basically any 2 days of the week, or Monday to Friday you like, only one of the days at the weekend. But again, if you want to book it for a week or something, you can, again, just discuss with the group. So it's important to have a nice friendly group. And basically the way the group membership worked here, had a kind of an interview with the chairman of the group, check that my licenses and the medicals are all okay, make sure I'm not an arse, hopefully, and then they kind of put your name forward to the group, see if there's any objections, and then assuming it's all good, you get in. You can pay obviously your share price to purchase the share from the previous owner, and then in my particular group they have certain rules on check rides. So again, even though all of my flight experience is on a Cessna 172, which is what this is, I still had to have a check ride with an instructor. So basically go out, it's like doing another skills test is what it's like for me, except for the navigation piece. So again, really good. And so far, again, I've only got to fly this aircraft 2 times so far, because the English weather has been absolutely terrible, but it is a really nice aircraft to fly. And it's actually amazing the difference between a school rented aircraft and this. It really does handle like it's on rails. It's hard to explain. Relatively basic in terms of cockpit. Obviously you've got all the dials and stuff that you'd expect. No built-in sat-nav, but that's fine because there's a perfect spot to put your tablet for Sky Demon here. The aircraft also has its own Sky Echo. If you want to use that, I still use my own. And then basic radio stuff. So you can fly this aircraft at night, but I think it's not fully set up for instrument flight. Obviously it has got some instruments, but not some of the redundancies that I think that you need. So I think there has been some discussions in the group in the past that if the group wants to, you know, pay to have additional instruments in, but I think most people just fly VFR. So obviously that's a point of reference for me for the future. But as you can see, internally it was recently refurbished as well, so it's fantastic. And again, I really like the colour schemes. It's not too kind of garish or anything. So yeah, the reason I decided to get a share instead of continue renting is, again, basically over time I should have reduced costs of flying. Obviously there are parts of aircraft ownership, if something goes wrong you've got to pay for it, but again, I'm going to pay for a 14th of it, and hopefully those monthly costs helps build up a kitty so that when, you know, the engine needs the overhaul and stuff, the money is there. The group seems well managed and the rules are pretty pragmatic. I did look at the cost of buying a Eurofox, and so it was going to be about £110,000 I think it was, and it's about a 2-year kind of waiting time. So obviously that's a lot of money, plus you've got to find hangarage and insurance and everything. That's also only a 2-seater, so even though my family doesn't fly with me, it is nice to have the option to have 4 seats. A little bit of luggage storage in here because I do want to fly into Europe and stuff in the future. And again, the other advantage of being in a group is there's other people that you can fly with different experiences, different kind of flying goals, so it's good to be able to partner up with similarly minded people. But yeah, I decided to go against the Eurofox just because at the current time in life we're obviously working lots as well. I don't know how much time I'd really have to fly something that's costing a fortune, that I'd have to get quite a bit in debt for, to be able to have that stored somewhere. I'm trying to find somewhere to store it, and those ongoing fees. And obviously if there is any issues, again, I'd have to foot them all. So it might be something I look to in the future. Eurofox only a 2-seater, and again there's other restrictions. Acts as really it's a microlight as opposed to a fully fledged aircraft like the Cessna 172. Maybe in the future when situations are different, maybe 10 years or so, we'll look to do different things. But for right now, really happy buying this share, and hopefully that just gives a little bit of insight into what it might be like to buy a share, because again I had no experience of where to look. So in terms of looking for shares, obviously the more people you know in the aviation industry, especially at an airfield where you're interested in flying, that's probably the easiest way to find out about shares. But I'll put a little couple of links down in the description of like flyer forums, and there's some other, I think it's Accors is the other location where people often advertise shares at different places. But for me, Gloucester's great, one because it's hangared, it's still only 45 minutes to an hour from where I'm based, and I've been flying from here already, so everything is pretty familiar. So a little bit of insight into buying a share in a plane. I'm very excited for what's to come. Obviously the other advantage of having your own aircraft, you can see some of the other pilots who fly this also obviously do some videoing, because there's GoPro mounts up here, I've got wing mounts and other things, so future flying videos should look even more awesome, and we get opportunities to go further afield. So future flights, you'll see me here now in Golf Bravo Sierra Oscar Golf instead of Joolca Oscar and Hotel and things that I've been flying in the past. So if you have any questions, comments or feedback, leave them down in the comments section. I'll definitely get back to you. And yeah, let me know what you think. Good aircraft. What do you think of the colour scheme? What do you think of the internals? Let me know. If you've got any questions about buying a share, again, I'm not an expert, it's only my little bit of experience dipping my toe into some form of aircraft ownership. But thanks very much for watching. Thanks to everyone in this group for letting me join. Look forward to flying with some of you in the future. But until next video, take care of yourself and goodbye for now.